These families need your help to find their loved ones that are gone missing. This is a special video brought to you by Out and About Sarasota. All right, I'm here with Pam Williams, my friend. Pam, her son went missing. God, how long has it been, Pam?
14 years.
14 years. The reason why I do what I do is because of Pam and her son, who was a very, very close friend of mine, Jason Gelhaus, who went missing over 14 years ago. And this is so close to my heart and is the reason why I'm trying to help others with their cases as well. Let's talk a little bit about Jason Gelhaus and his case and the things that we went through together, Pam.
Right.
Let's talk about that. So it had been 14 years ago. Jason went missing. I called you on the phone and you said, Jason's not here, Tyler. And I said, well, where's he at? And you said, well, nobody knows. He just vanished, right?
That's right. His roommates called me and told me he'd been missing for 3 days.
And after we found out, to make a long story short, he had left a club in Tampa with two guys. The roommates didn't see who the roommate said that they did not see who he had actually left with, which we thought was kind of odd. But after calling the detective that was first on the case originally many, many times and not getting any response other than the fact that it was a cold case, we kind of decided to go on our own journey in finding Jason, what happened to him, any information at that point, since we had nothing to go on. We put a committee together of like 5 or 10 people. We drove to Tampa every day, putting up posters of Jason missing, talking to people. A lot of people had a lot to say that were in the bar, but nobody really had anything for us to go on until we actually went into another bar that a bar manager gave us some information about someone who had been picked up by two guys. To make a long story short, those two guys were the guys that were involved in Jason's disappearance, and then you can finish the rest.
And then they took him to his house. They drugged him, they raped him, they tortured him, and then they killed him, and they took him out in the garage, and they cut him up in pieces, distributed him around Tampa in the city dumps.
Now, after 14 years of dealing with all this disturbing graphic photos that these two animals both had on their computers, we're finally going to get justice, right, Pam?
That's right. He's on trial right now.
He's acting as his own defense attorney, which is kind of crazy. However, we're going to be there in that courtroom, and we're going to fight until he's put away for the murder charges. He's been in jail for the drugging charges, but now he's going against the murder charges, and he will pay for what he has done to Jason Gelhaus, Michael Wachholz, and the others that are connected to the case that were also dismembered, perhaps, and been missing from this animal. Well, thanks so much, Pam, and good luck.
Okay.
Monica Cason, Monica Caison, founder of the Q Center for Missing Persons.
Let's talk about why you founded it and like the Cliff Note version of it.
Basically, we were founded in 1994 to be a liaison between communities and law enforcement, to advocate for our families, and to actively search for missing persons. When we started 23 years ago, there was not a whole lot of people who cared about missing adults. And although we do serve missing children too, that was kind of my, my notch right there. I was like, missing people are children of someone, and no matter if they're 4, 14, or 40, they need to be looked for. And that, pretty much was one of my bases and one of my pet peeves, because it was like, if it had been my sister, my mother, my father, they mattered just as much as if an 8-year-old went missing. So that's where we came up with the slogan at the very, very beginning, is that every missing person is somebody's child.
So tell me about this tour. When did this tour start? How many cities, states, how many stops?
Well, we launched out on October 20th. We'll end on October 28th in our hometown with a big celebration, welcome home party, if you will. with rides and pig picking and all kinds of things. But we'll be hitting this tour 5 states, which is the North and South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and Alabama. We're almost coming around the tail end of the tour. We end on the 28th of October. And at that point, we would have traveled about 4,000 miles, doing 23 different stops. And all the stops are so different. They're like this here today. We've, tossed flowers, released balloons, whatever have you. And it's interesting to always see all the different flares of the personality of the host of each stop.
How many years have you been doing this?
Well, our organization is 23 years old, but our road tour is 13 years old this year. And, it's effective. I mean, each year we pick a different route. This year we're featuring 92 missing person cases, 6 unsolved homicide, and 2 unidentifieds. And we hope to make a difference in at least one or more of those cases.
And since you've been doing it for 13 years, have you seen more leads generate? Tell me about that.
Well, I was just asked at our last stop, which was in Largo, Florida, the same question. And there was a young lady there who we found her mother through our road tour, so she was our testimony there. She was 5 years old, getting ready to be 6 years old when her mother got missing, and her mother remained a missing person for 28 years. We decided to reopen the case and help the case get reopened, and then we placed her on our road tour that year. We held a candlelight vigil, and in that promotion we did a lot of signs such as these, and we did an age progression. We had an age progression done for her as what she would look like that day or at that time in her life. And an investigator from another police department had stopped to get a cup of coffee and saw the sign, made contact, and put their Jane Doe, who they had for 28 years, in CODIS. And our missing person was already in CODIS, and 11 months later there was a match.
All right, I'm here with Lynn. Lynn's daughter's been missing for 5.5 years. How did you get involved with Q? How did you learn about it?
I contacted Monica Kaysen, who is head of Q for Center for Missing Persons in North Carolina.
Okay, and so what does the tour mean today?
The tour is to bring out awareness of people that are missing, the fact that things aren't actively being done to find them, and in hopes that we can find people that will. There's always someone out there, like you said, that knows what's going on.
Absolutely.
And we're hoping that we start getting phone calls and people start coming through for us.
And if your daughter's out there watching now, what do you want to say to her?
We love you, Erin. We don't care how long it's been. We just want to know you're okay. We want you to come home, contact us, your sister, your grandma, your Aunt Diane. We all miss you very much.
And if anybody has information about Erin's whereabouts or where she's gone or what's happened, anything, how would they can remain anonymous, how will they contact you?
They can contact Monica Kaysen at the Q Center for Missing Persons.
Great. Well, thanks so much, Lynn, and good luck.
Thank you, Tyler. Thank you for all your help.
Absolutely. Okay, I'm here with Andrea Poston, who also has a tragic story. Your sister has went missing when?
She checked into the Budget Inn on April 24th, 2006, and that was the last time anybody saw her.
2006?
Yes.
And has there been any leads on the investigation at all?
She checked in as a party of one, and 4 days later, her boyfriend met with his mother at a restaurant in Bradenton and confessed that Tamara had died and that he had buried her.
Wow. Okay, and he confessed to his mother?
He confessed to his mother, and Shirley Warren never bothered to alert the authorities. And it was 15 days later, he was arrested. Bivens was arrested on unrelated charges. And 5 days later, he jumped from the 2-story balcony in the Manatee County Jail and committed suicide. That opened an investigation where it was discovered that my sister was now missing. Tamara's van is what Bivens was arrested in, and the back seat had been removed,
Oh, wow.
and there was 2 shovels that lay in the back. They had used Tamara's own van to, as a hearse to carry her body to its undisclosed location.
Did they luminol the van?
They did do some checking on it,
Yeah.
but we know there's someone out there that knows. There was 2 shovels. We feel there's someone out there that knows and probably helped bury her. And there was a Stephen Chirac that had moved into Tamara's motel room with his girlfriend. It had the back seat to the van and all of Tamara's belongings, and Bivens was living in there at the time.
Wow.
So we don't know, but we do know that there's someone out there that knows where Tamara is.
So let's hold up the picture. If anybody has any information on Tamara, where her whereabouts are, you can remain anonymous. Is that right?
Yes. Yes.
Where would they go? Who would they call? Who would they talk to?
Call Crime Stoppers or call the Manatee County Sheriff's Office.
Thanks so much and good luck. Okay, I'm here with
Kelly Osborne.
Kelly. Oh, so nice to meet you, Kelly.
Yeah,
We've
nice
talked
to
over
meet
the
you,
phone. I'm like, wait a
yes.
minute, Kelly. So let's talk a little bit about why you're here today.
Well, I joined the Q Center back in 2009.
Okay.
I was working late one night on my daughter's own case, and I came across the Q Center information, and I thought to myself, my gosh, I know where my daughter is, but all these families, they have missing families. I couldn't imagine that pain. So that's when
Right.
I got involved with the Q Center.
Okay. Do you want to talk a little bit about your daughter and the reason why you got involved?
Well,
Briefly?
sure. My daughter's name is Sheena Morris, and she had gone to Anna Maria Island with her boyfriend on New Year's Day. And her and her boyfriend at the time, they got into an argument. She called 911, and also the neighbors called next door 911.
Right.
And I'll make a long story short. The boyfriend was never questioned. He was not interviewed until we pressed 22 days later. The police ruled her death a suicide, and I've been fighting for 7 years ever since because we know it wasn't a suicide. When the FDLE finally came in and stepped in after 4 years of fighting for an investigation, they didn't do an actual investigation. And what their mission was actually called was Operation Beach Assist.
Oh, wow.
So they didn't interview my daughter's death.
Absolutely. Well, thanks so much for talking to us.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
International sign of peace. Faith, hope, love, new beginnings. And they're all going to fly off together. They're going home. Just as we're all going to be going home, we're all going to be together again. You're professional. Most of the time it's
Well, thank you for joining us here at Goodfellas, and thank you for coming. We all appreciate it. And as far as what we can do here at Goodfellas, I had a pizza eating contest this past Saturday, and we got a bunch of donations for y'all. And I wanted to present to you this big old check. Hopefully they take it at the bank for $400. It's all the proceeds we raised this Saturday for our pizza eating competition, so that we can, help give back to the community and hopefully help some of these people find some closure. So
Thank you so much.
you're
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
You're welcome. Glad we
Go
can.
a long way.
I hope so.
We will.
Yeah. Thank you very much, and thank you for everybody that participated.
If you have information regarding any of the cases you have seen, contact Q Center Missing Persons at ncmissingpersons.org. Out and About Sarasota, sponsored by the following. This has been an Out and About media production, a product of Sarasota Socialites.